Alright, okay, today's lesson is entitled Wisdom from Above. That name in itself speaks of a divine nature. Anybody here know what divine means? Divine. Spiritual. That's right. Spiritual. Something heavenly from above. Okay, the word wisdom in itself, we have things what we consider like worldly wisdom. You might meet somebody and say, that's a very wise brother.
Right.
But what we profess or what we proclaim is that that type of wisdom will not get you in the kingdom. Not saying that you can't have it. It will help you survive out here in this world. But you can't pay your way into the kingdom.
Right.
That wisdom down here helps you, support your family and, understand things of this nature. We're talking about a different nature from above.
Right.
That's spiritual. Okay. Basically what inspired me to do this lesson was that menorah right there. One day,
I'm up here looking at that.
one day, I guess Miss Juanita and everyone was here, and they wanted the breakdown of the menorah. Why do we have it? And I was basically saying it has a spiritual meaning behind it.
Okay.
And according to the Bible, we actually gonna read it. Most High has 7 spirits that minister before him. So each of the candlesticks represent the spirits. And one of them happens to be the wisdom, which we're going to go into. So we're going to focus on one of those. So I want to kind of recap and go back over what we first went over with talking about the menorah. And that's found in Revelation chapter 4 and 5. But before we go there, like all things, we always like to read Revelation chapter 1, verse 1 through 3. Anytime we go in the book of Revelations. Because you'll find that by reading this book, you receive a blessing.
Yeah.
Anything off the book of Revelations. Many churches may tell you you shouldn't read the book of Revelations. Stay out of it. The book deals with spookism.
Right.
But it also deals with prophecy, end time prophecies. You need to know what's going to happen. We profess that we are in these last days. And if you had no understanding of the book of Revelation, wickedness can creep up on you unaware. So you got to be aware of these things. But just saying that, I want to start off Revelation chapter 1 through 3.
Revelation chapter.
And right out the gate, the word revelation within itself, it means to reveal something. So it's the revelation of Christ. But it's an order. It's from the Father, then Christ, then it was revealed to John on the island of Patmos, right?
Father, Christ, angel, John.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for correcting me.
Yeah.
We'll get that in verse 1. I think that break that down.
Break it down. Revelation chapter 1, starting at verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
Okay, that's the order what we just spoke of. It came from the Most High, then his son, and the angel. So John could tell us so that we can understand what will befall us in these last days. Go ahead, Hebrew verse 2.
Who bear record of the word of God and of the testimony of Jesus Christ and of all things that he saw. Blessed is he that readeth.
Blessed is what?
He that readeth.
You see, you receive a blessing by reading this book of Revelation. So don't let nobody tell y'all don't read this book. They actually deny you a blessing.
And they that hear the words of this prophecy and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand.
The time is at hand. Okay, we're going to dive right into this, y'all. Jump over a few pages. Revelation chapter 4 and 5. We're going to get an understanding of this menorah, which is in heaven in front of the Most High. And we'll get into our lesson, so to speak.
Revelations, everybody there?
Okay.
Revelation chapter 4, starting at verse 5. And out of the throne proceeded lightnings and thunderings and voices.
What throne we talking about?
Yeah.
That's right.
Throne of the Most High. Hallelujah. And there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne.
We get the menorah, 7 lamps.
which are the 7 spirits of Yah.
They what?
The 7 spirits of Yah.
Okay, so that particular day when we was discussing this menorah, at that point we had to identify what are these 7 spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So that led us to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1 and 2, and it'll tell you what are these 7 spirits. See, that's the beautiful thing about the Bible. Bible teaches you that the way to study the Bible, you must have line upon line, precept upon precept. So actually, we're connecting Revelations 4 and 5 with Isaiah chapter 11 and 2 to identify these 7 spirits. And again, the lesson is called Wisdom from Above. And we will see once we read Isaiah chapter 11, verse 2, that wisdom is one of these spirits. And again, it's from above, so it's by the throne of the Heavenly Father. There's nothing we can touch with our hand. It must be given to you. So we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1, verse 2. And I'll read it out, and you can count them out for us. All right, Hebrew?
Yes,
as
sir.
we go along.
Yeah.
We're going to Terry for everybody, wait for it, make sure everybody get that. Everybody there?
Mm-hmm.
Right. There shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
Yahushua Ha'Mashiach.
That's right. And the Spirit of the Lord,
That's 1.
shall rest upon him. The Spirit of wisdom.
That's 2.
That's what the lesson is about. And understanding.
That's 3.
The Spirit of counsel.
That's 4.
And might.
5.
The Spirit of knowledge.
6.
And the Spirit of the fear of the Lord.
7.
Okay, we profess that, us down here, if you start keeping the commandments, being obedient to the word, you'll get a portion of wisdom, and different attributes will be sent to you. The Messiah in himself embodied all of these spirits, within himself. That's what makes him the Messiah. He's but he didn't, use it to his, I wouldn't say to his advantage. Like for instance, the disciples at one point in time was like, we know you can basically condemn them right now. You can put them to death. We know you're the Son of God. But in order to fulfill prophecy, he kind of kept those things in his back pocket. When it was time to pull it out, like his mother asked him, can you turn this water into wine? That was the first miracle he performed. He was able to do these things. He had all these spirits on him. Right. Understand that. But we just went here to identify what we're going over. And basically, that's what led to this lesson. So I wanted to get that out the way. Initially, we're going to go right into 2 Chronicles chapter 1. We're going to deal with King Solomon. This man was the wisest man to walk the face of this earth. And what we're going to find out when we read 2 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 7 through 12. King David, which was his father, had initially wanted to build a house for the Most High. But the Most High said, David, you shed too much blood. I'm going to have your son Solomon build the house. Mm-hmm. Now, upon this, he visited him one night in a dream, because the Most High, anytime he comes to you and gives you a message, it's always in a dream. It's a vision. All right. So in that vision, he was able to kind of talk back to the Most High. Out of all the things he asked for wisdom. Mm-hmm. The reason he asked for this wisdom, because he looked out at the children of Israel and said, who can judge and deal with these people? Yeah. I'm finna be a king. And Solomon was young at the time. So all of a sudden you finna inherit a kingdom that your dad, King David ran. You know what I'm saying? And we have problems just managing our own family household. So imagine millions of people. It takes wisdom and knowledge to discern between situations or problems that might come to the doorsteps of their king. So let's read 2 Chronicles chapter 1, 7 through 12.
I said chapter 1.
Yeah. 2 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 7 through 12. read Hebrew.
Yeah.
Wait.
Everybody there?
Mm-hmm.
2 Chronicles chapter 1, starting at verse 7. In that night did Yahweh Elohim appear unto Solomon, and said unto him, Ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said unto Elohim, Thou hast showed great mercy unto David my father, and hast made me to reign in his stead. Now, O Yahweh Elohim, let thy promise unto David my father be established. For thou hast made me king over a people like the dust of the earth in multitude.
Fulfilling the promise that he made to Abraham. He told him to look at the sky, look at the sand shores. That will be your seed.
Hallelujah.
Hebrew.
Verse 10. Give me now wisdom.
Give me what?
Wisdom and knowledge, that I may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this thy people that is so great? And Elohim said to Solomon, Because this was in thine heart, and thou hast not asked riches, wealth, or honor, nor the life of thy enemies, neither yet hast asked long life, but hast asked wisdom and knowledge for thyself, that thou mayest judge my people, over whom I have made thee king.
Verse 12.
Wisdom and knowledge is granted unto thee, and I will give thee riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had that have been before thee, neither shall there any after thee have the like.
So as we clearly see that when Solomon was visited and the Most High asked him, what do you want? He asked for wisdom. And he needed that wisdom, like we just read, to judge the nation of Israel. And the wisdom that he got from the Most High was not this earthly wisdom, what we call that jeopardy wisdom.
Right.
You know, that wisdom is foolishness with the Most High.
Exactly.
Read that. Let's get that. 1 Corinthians chapter 3.
I want to add on as well.
All right, go ahead.
We notice the intent of Solomon's heart. We're going to be judged by the intent of our heart. He didn't ask for riches, wealth, even to kill his enemies. He asked for wisdom from the Most High. And the Most High said, you know what, I'm going to give you that and what you didn't ask for. So
he wasn't selfish about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's key.
He loved his people.
Yeah.
He loved his people. So that's a great example of a mindset that we ought to be and ought to have. What we going on?
Because what you just said, along with that, the wisdom, just by asking that, all those things that come along with it. You know what I'm saying? Your riches, you'll be wise to obtain money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't have wisdom, it's like somebody that win the lottery. If you got a problem, that's just more. If you're an alcoholic, now you're gonna drink more. You're not wise to do what you're gonna wind up broke.
What's the scripture? It is study and show thyself approved, and all these things will be added into
2 Timothy chapter 2.
Right.
10.
Yeah.
And you also talking about seek thee first the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
And all these
Matthew chapter 6 verse 33.
Yeah.
So that's good. So you can precept that if y'all want to.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. Hallelujah. Or
Excellent.
study.
But like I was saying, Solomon didn't ask for the wisdom of this earth.
Right.
He wanted the wisdom from above because that's what the Most High put on him. And as we're going to see, I'm going to give several examples of not just Solomon, but other individuals throughout the Bible, the Apocrypha, and the book of Jasher, these people that obtain this. And what you will see, this wisdom is like a magnet. It attracts people to it.
Yeah.
We're going to read later how people from all over came to hear the wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah.
And other people that got this wisdom from above. But I was saying that the wisdom of this earth, or that jeopardy wisdom, is foolishness with the Most High. And I was just going to prove it in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18 through 20. This is not the wisdom we want. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't have it to do different things, but don't think this is going to get you in the kingdom.
Right.
You know, by being obedient and keeping the commandments of the Most High, He will pour out this wisdom from above. That's what we want. That's how you navigate this spiritual world that we in.
Be in it and not be of it.
1 Corinthians
chapter 3, verse 18 through 20. just reiterating, like I said, Most High, he makes a difference between the wisdom of this world and the wisdom from above. Okay, everybody there, I read it out. It says, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God.
Right.
For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just showing y'all that it is a difference. Solomon didn't ask for that type of wisdom. That type of wisdom, you know, he wouldn't have been able to judge the children of Israel.
And you notice how Brother Paul said, as it is written, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. I believe that's Job 5 and 13. That's Job 5 and 13, because you got to know that Brother Paul, he was a Hebrew scholar, so when he's talking about the script, or he say the scripture says, or as it's written, he's talking about in the Old Testament.
Yeah, that's an identifying mark. Anytime you read, like Brother just said, as it is written in Shaul, Brother Paul, he often would quote the Old Testament.
Job 5 and what?
5 and 13.
We call Hebrew. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll read it out when y'all get there. Okay, you got Hebrew. The book of Job, chapter 5, verse 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the fraud is carried headlong. So you see, Brother Shaul, he was actually quoting what was written in the Old Testament.
And he didn't have the Bible in front of him.
That was by
That's the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit brings what?
Remembrance. Things back to remembrance.
And it was a scroll.
Yeah, and the families always put it before the children.
Right.
Day in and day out.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah. That be taught.
Ooh. Now, Paul had the Holy Spirit. For real. As it is written.
Okay, what better other book to find out more in detail about this wisdom? Because in Apocrypha, you also read, we're going to go to the wisdom of Solomon, because he asked for this wisdom. Now let's find out what was this wisdom he received. It's one thing for me just to tell y'all, wisdom from above is something that God has. But just like if any one of y'all went on a blind date, any one of y'all been on a blind date before?
Yeah.
And if I knew who you was actually finna go on a date with, you probably asked me, hey, Nate, tell me a little bit about her. What she look like? What she like to do? So that's what we finna go in Apocrypha and kind of identify this wisdom from above. You know, it's like wisdom of Solomon. Like I said, we're gonna read some chapters, you know, because if you get in detail about this, basically you can read the whole book of wisdom of Solomon, but for time's sake, we're gonna start with chapter 6. And right out the gate, he's giving advice to other kings of the nations in the world. You know, so the first verses we're gonna read, you can even look at Donald Trump right now, who's sitting as a ruling power. So he would be giving advice to somebody like him. And he's gonna clearly let it be known that you're gonna be accountable. Donald Trump, whoever, if y'all desire to be a king or different things, you gotta have this wisdom. So he was giving advice from the wisdom that he obtained. You know, and then he's gonna get more in detail as actually what this wisdom from above is. But it's starting off with like a message to the other kings that are hurt. So we're going to read this whole chapter and then jump around a little bit.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, starting at verse 1. Hear, therefore, O ye kings, and understand, learn, ye that be judges of the ends of the earth.
Why was it important for these kings to learn and to understand? Because people are under them. You know, a kingdom that I wish I had the script.
It's a script to say the people are in the image of the kingdom.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like in Proverbs or something, I can't think right off the top of my head, But that's important because if the king is off, the people gonna be off. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Right.
from the top goes down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's important. So his message had to go out to all y'all world leaders because the Most High wants you to know, hey, look, you like Donald Trump, he can be the cause of war here in America.
Exactly.
He ruled this. It's by the president's order.
Right.
He get a decree, we finna go to war.
Right.
And it takes wise counsel, people constantly on to give them the pros and cons, why we should or why we shouldn't.
Right.
In biblical times, we're gonna read about Ezra. The Most High told him with the wisdom from above, I need you to set up some wise men and judges, not these people today that you can pay off with gifts.
Right. Take bribes.
Yeah, bribes.
Right.
Most High don't get down like that.
Not at all.
That way a kingdom will fall. Like he was saying, you know, the people are like a reflection of the king. If we got a wicked king, look at King Manasseh.
Yeah.
He was wicked. So at that time, the whole nation of Israel was practicing wickedness. Bowing down. But let's get into this, verse 2.
Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of Yahweh.
Who give him this power?
Yahweh, and sovereignty from El Elyon. Who shall try your works and search out your counsels? Because, being ministers of his kingdom, ye have not judged aright, nor kept the law, the Torah, nor walked after the counsel of Elohim. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places.
So that's a warning for Donald Trump and whoever else that is over mass amount of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He gave y'all this power, so you better judge right.
Exactly.
We already know Donald Trump ain't keeping these commandments.
We know that.
So what is his punishment? It said, horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. So we often say, much more is required of you the higher level you go. You know, expectations. So if you want this power, guess what? It's a long fall once you get to the top of the mountain.
Sure is.
Exactly.
You know?
Sure is.
Long fall.
That remind me of when it's the scripture said the pastors, the false leaders will receive all the judgments of the book. There's a script in there that says something like that.
I think you might be
because
talking about
because the pastors
they leading the flock straight. Talking about Jeremiah 23, I believe.
Yeah, something about the pastors gonna receive the worst, you know what I mean, more
That's
than
true. That's
even
true.
Donald Trump.
Because they leaders.
Because they leading their own people to death, not their enemy, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's
Exactly. Blind leaders.
It's like you know better. You know better.
Exactly. They ought to know better. Verse 6. For mercy will soon pardon the meanness, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented.
What type of men?
Mighty men shall be mightily tormented. For he which is Yahweh over all shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness. Let me
go ahead.
Michael Jordan got 6 rings. Most High don't give a dang about none of that.
That's right.
No.
Tom Brady got 5. Most High don't care about none of that.
No.
Jay-Z got millions. Most High don't care about none of that.
It's not going to do you no good.
No good.
On the other side.
Not on the other side. Hallelujah. Most High straight thing, no play thing. Wait a minute.
Verse 7.
Verse 7.
No, did you read this?
For he, I got eyes. For he has made the small and the great, and cares for all alike. But a sore trail shall come upon the mighty. Unto you, therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom.
Learn what?
Learn wisdom, and not fall away. For they that guard holiness purely shall be judged holy.
That's right.
And they that have learned such things shall find what to answer. Wherefore set your affection upon my words, desire them, and ye shall be instructed. Wisdom is glorious and never fades away. Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her.
So we initially see that wisdom is identified as a feminine spirit. You know, right there throughout the book of Proverbs and all throughout the wisdom of Solomon, you're going to hear she. And just for a record and a shot at GOC, them, they teach that the Holy Spirit is a feminine spirit.
Right.
And a lot of time, what you were saying,
they think like you said, they teach that the Holy Spirit is a feminine spirit. The Holy Spirit is a woman. They say the Father, the Mother, and Hamashiach. But they use all scriptures pertaining to wisdom.
Like what we read now.
Right.
But if we're sticking to the Bible, every time you read about the Holy Spirit in the Bible, it's saying he.
Exactly.
We can prove that.
And we know that wisdom is an attribute or a gift from the Holy Spirit. Once you read it in Corinthians, I believe in 1 Corinthians, you can read that, and Brother Paul breaks it down. And also, Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, he would know whether it was a male or female, and all he was saying was he.
Right.
I was
that's
in the comforter unto you.
That's red letter.
He.
Exactly.
He kept on saying,
that's a good point, Hebrew.
Where we have
because we just now.
Okay, love of her, and found of such as seek her. She prevents them that desire her, in making herself first known unto them.
So she prevent them that desire her, in making herself first known unto them. Go ahead, Hebrew.
Whoso seeks her early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his doors. To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom. And whoso watches for her shall quickly be without care, for she goes about seeking such as are worthy of her, shows herself favorable unto them in the ways, and meets them in every thought. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline.
What?
The desire of discipline. And the care of discipline is love.
Which is keeping the commandments.
And love is keeping of her Torah, her law.
That's right.
You already know that with the 1 John. And giving the heed unto her law is the assurance of incorruption.
So that's your assurance that you will not be corrupted. We're talking about the book of Corinthians, talk about immortality and incorruption. Taking off this is corruptible. Right. We want to put on incorruption. Right. So that's an insurance. By having wisdom, if you don't want wisdom, guess what? You don't have an insurance policy after
that's
life.
Good. That's good.
You need
her. Yeah. Verse 19. And incorruption makes us near unto Elohim.
Who don't want to get closer to the Most High. Opposite of him is the lake of fire.
Exactly.
Right.
Want to get close as possible.
That's right. Therefore, the desire of wisdom brings to a kingdom. Therefore, the desire of wisdom brings to a kingdom. If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom, that ye may reign forevermore. As for wisdom, what she is, and how she came up, I will tell you, and will not hide mysteries from you, but will seek her out from the beginning of her nativity.
That means her birth. You know, once a time when this spirit was formed, and we'll read it was from the beginning. This ain't nothing that just came on the scene.
And bring the knowledge of her into light, and will not pass over the truth. Neither will I go with consuming envy, for such a man shall have no fellowship with wisdom.
So jealousy kind of puts you at a distance from wisdom.
That's what it said. But the multitude of the wise is the warfare of the world.
See, the wise, the multitude of the wise is the welfare, the care of the world. So it's like, that's what Solomon wanted. That's what he asked the Most High. Why? Because he cared about the welfare of the children of Israel. How are we going to be able to judge these people? So that's what that wisdom kicked in at that point to help them, judge the nation of Israel.
Verse 25. Verse 25.
Yeah, 25.
Nah, 24.
You ain't finished.
Yeah, 24. But the multitude of the wise is the warfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people. Receive therefore instruction through my words, and it shall do you good. Okay, that was advice that all the kings or anybody in power, it'd be important for them to read this chapter right here. If you ever took political reign, but it also applies to us
in a lot of things also.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you got
wouldn't it
some?
apply for the men running their house because they're
Yeah.
seen as the king
No
of the
doubt.
household, so that's their kind of rulership there,
Mhm.
so they're accountable as well.
Yeah, because you just said it, the men are the heads of their household. So we see a lot of men, they don't seek after this wisdom because they say, how do you get it? By keeping her laws, by being disciplined.
Exactly.
Right.
So we know a lot of people don't even know the commandments, so they don't have a wise head there, and you know they're going to be held accountable for that. We're going to go down to the next chapter, but start at verse 6. We're going to start at verse 6 and read on down. Chapter 7, my bad, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. Let's pick it up at verse 6 through 30. Read it on out. Let's get a little bit more in detail about wisdom.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, starting at verse 6. For all men have one entrance into life, and the light going out. What that mean?
Anybody want to break that down? It's kind of self-explanatory.
Oh, you're born and you die.
That's right. Entrance in.
One entrance out. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. He prayed for understanding, it was given to him. I called upon Elohim, in the ruach of wisdom, the spirit of wisdom came to me, and preferred her before before scepters and thrones, and esteemed riches nothing in comparison of her.
Because we see what we read in Second Chronicles chapter 1, that even the Most High said, you didn't ask for riches, you didn't ask for these things, you wanted wisdom.
Right.
You know, so even Solomon letting it be known, I didn't want rich or thrones, I wanted this first.
Right.
You know, but thrones and being decked out, Solomon was decked out. All of that came along with riches. He was decked out way more than the Messiah. You know, Messiah wasn't walking around looking like Solomon and the kings of Israel was.
Verse 9. Neither compared I unto her any precious stone, because all gold in respect of her is as a little sand, and silver shall be counted as clay before her.
That's quite the opposite of the Rothschilds.
Right.
You know, how they value gold and everything. We see they don't have the wisdom from above.
Exactly. Verse 10. I loved her above health and beauty, and chose to have her instead of light.
Why would he choose that? Keep reading.
For the light that comes from her never goes out. All good things together came to me with her, and innumerable riches in her hands.
See, riches come along with it.
Exactly.
And I rejoiced in them all, because wisdom goes before them, and I knew not that she was the mother of them. I learned diligently, and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches, for she is a treasure unto men that never fails, which they that use become the friends of Elohim, being commended for the gifts that come from learning. Elohim has granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as it meets for the things that are given me, because it is he that leads unto wisdom and directs the wise. For in his hand are both we and our words, all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. For he has given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made, and the operation of the elements, the beginning, ending, and the midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun, and the change of the seasons.
Just like in the book of Enoch, these things were taught to Enoch. You know, nobody wake up and know how the stars and everything work. This was given to Solomon. He knew about plants, which ones are poisonous, this and that. He knew about the beginning of time, everything, the history of man, everything. That was wisdom from above. You couldn't learn that here on this earth.
Right.
You know, not the true wisdom. How things operate, all the elements, you know, that's important to know.
Verse 19, the circuits of the years, in the positions of the stars, the natures of living creatures, in the furries of wild beasts, the violence of wind.
He knew stage 3, stage 5 hurricane. He knew this ain't no regular wind. Of course, everybody would know that that's coming through, but you know, he was aware of different signs.
Yeah. But at the times back then,
They didn't have like weather things.
He knew how to see
Exactly.
clouds and whatnot and see when it's coming. In the reasonings of men, the diversity of plants and the virtues of roots.
The diversity of plants, like I was saying, you got a lot of times back then, like you talking about starting a garden. And some people, instead of using medicine or prescription medicine, they depend on herbs, things of the earth.
Right.
And some things are poisonous. So Solomon, he could go and pick, oh no, this is good for you. This will knock that toothache right away out.
Right. Exactly.
You know, different things of that.
Verse 21. And all such things as are either secret or manifest, them I know.
Things that are secret or made to appear, manifest.
For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding, Ruach holy, spirit holy, one holy, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt.
So you can't hurt wisdom. You can't deceive wisdom.
Right. Loving a thing that is good, quick, which cannot be let, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle, spirit. That's like spirit in Yahweh, right?
Spirit.
Yes. Ruach too. Ruach, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm in the sea. Ruach is spirit. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passes and goes through all things by reason of her pureness. But she is the breath of the power of Elohim.
Wow.
She's what?
The breath of the power of Elohim. And a pure influence flowing from the glory of El Shaddai.
The Almighty.
The Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. But she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of Elohim. If you go in my bathroom right now, that mirror is spotted.
Are you silly?
In the image of his goodness, and being but one, she can do all things. And remaining in herself, she makes all things new, and in all ages entering into holy souls.
So that's letting you know in all ages, going back from Adam even up to us. Enoch, them. Wisdom always been around. If you worthy, that wisdom be put on us.
And if you listen.
And if you listen.
Got to.
You got to hold.
She makes them friends of Elohim and prophets. For Elohim loves none but him that dwells with wisdom. For Elohim loves none but him that dwells with wisdom. So the Most High hates people that don't dwell with wisdom, right?
That's right.
That's why the Most High hates people that don't dwell with wisdom. Elohim loves none but him that dwells with wisdom. But she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all, the order of stars. Being compared with the light, she is found before it. For after this comes night, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. And real quick, I want to precept that with Job 28. Job 28, starting at verse 26.
Tell them why we're going here.
And we're going here just because wisdom, and how and where wisdom comes from, because it's a second witness to this wisdom of Solomon, where wisdom comes from and how we obtain wisdom. And it's going to break it down clearly right here in this Job 28, 26 through 28. And if you read before these verses, you can read it out. And if you read before these verses, it actually have what Solomon actually said about it's more precious than gold, rubies, and all that. Okay, and this is Job. So this is the same spirit that was on Solomon, the same spirit that's on Job. So that's the spirit moving. Y'all hit that 20. Started 24. Started 24. Yeah, that's
So we at 28 or 26 and 4.
Job 28, verse 24.
Okay.
Matter of fact, started 20. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Start verse 20. Job 28,
Yeah.
verse
That's
20.
Everybody there?
Yes.
Whence then cometh wisdom?
That's a question. Where wisdom come from? Go ahead.
From above, wisdom from above.
Right.
Title. And where is the place of understanding?
Where can you find understanding at? Let's get it out.
Seeing it is hid from the eyes of all living,
Right.
and kept close from the fowls of the earth.
So it's wisdom from above. Because it's close from the fowl. It kept close from the fowls of the air. Let's get it.
Destruction and death say, we have heard the fame thereof with our ears.
They done heard of it. Destruction and death. They ain't never seen it. Let's get it out.
God understandeth the way thereof,
Right.
and he knoweth the place thereof.
Right.
For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and he seeth under the whole heaven,
That's right.
to make the weight for the winds, and he weigheth the waters by measure. When he made a decree for the rain,
Right.
and a way for the lightning of the thunder, then did he see it,
He seen it then.
and declared. He prepared it, yeah, and searched it out. That's wisdom. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom.
That's wise.
Read that again.
Yeah. And he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom.
So the fear of the Most High, that's wisdom. That's a wise thing to do.
And it doesn't mean like fear. Fear means honor.
Honor, yes.
You know.
Honor. Honor the
Just
Most
like
High.
you want your children to not fear you, but to honor
Exactly.
and respect
Honor you,
you.
respect.
You know.
Exactly. Go ahead and finish it out, Bob.
And to depart from evil is understanding.
So
So that's where your understanding comes from.
exactly. To keep the commandments is
Right.
understanding. Hallelujah.
Good precept, Hebrew.
Yeah.
All
That
praise
was
the
on
Most High.
point. We're going to jump to the next chapter. Let's read chapter 8. It's continuing on from what we was reading. You want me to read? You can read the next one out.
Yeah, go ahead. Huh? Wisdom of Solomon chapter. No, I can read for you so you can
All
read
right,
that.
go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8.
Yeah,
What we going to? Whole thing?
yeah, read the whole thing.
Yes, sir. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, starting at verse 1. Wisdom reaches from one end to another mightily, and sweetly she orders all things.
So wisdom is boundless. It don't have no limitation.
I loved her and sought her out from my youth. I desired to make her my spouse, and I was a lover of her beauty, and that she is conversant with Elohim. She magnifies her nobility. Yeah, Yahweh of all things himself loved her, for she is privy to the mysteries of the knowledge of Elohim, and a lover of his works. If riches be a possession to be desired in this life,
And we know it is. Many people, desire the riches in this life.
right? What is richer than wisdom
It's a good
that
point.
works all things? And if prudence work, who of all that is a more cunning workman than she?
Hmm.
And if a man love righteousness, her labors are virtues. What's that word? Virtues?
Virtue.
Virtues. Her labors are virtues. But she teaches temperance and prudence, justice and fortitude, which are such things as men can have nothing more profitable in their life. If a man desire much experience, she knows things of old and conjectures aright what is to come. She knows the subtitle of speeches. Say again,
It's like prophecy. Like if you wanted to have some understanding, you deal with wisdom. Wisdom will expose these things to you.
Right.
You'll get that understanding.
Amen. She knows the subtitles
Of speeches.
Is that subtleties?
Subtleties.
Of speeches.
That's like dark sayings. Like if somebody, you know how people speak in codes. You can't
Right.
speak in codes around wisdom. She like, I can break that down,
Yeah,
like
right.
if somebody like, like Masons or something, they do
Right,
secret
the
shit.
handshake,
You can't,
right.
wisdom know all that.
Exactly.
You're dealing with wisdom and expose their darkness, so to speak.
Exactly. Hallelujah. and can expound dark sentences. She foresees signs and wonders in the events of seasons and times.
So ahead of time, she foresee it. That means ahead of time. Wisdom. So if you got this wisdom from above, it's just like us, by us obeying the law, statutes, and commandments. We started out reading in the book of Revelations. Like I was saying, that book deals with prophecies. Just by being aware of that wisdom that you obtain from reading and understanding the book of Revelation, you're able to foresee future events. The mark of the beast, the second coming of Christ, you know, and so many things. The Jacob's trouble. A lot of people gonna be caught off guard. Why? Because they don't have the wisdom from above. In order to have, you gotta be keeping this law.
Exactly. Therefore, I propose to take her to me to live with me, knowing that she will be a counselor of good things and a comfort in cares and grief. For her sake, I shall have estimation among the multitude and honor with the elders. Though I be young, I shall be found of a quick conceit in judgment, and shall be admired in the sight of great men. When I hold my tongue, they shall bide my leisure, and when I speak, they shall give good ear unto me. If I talk much, they shall lay their hands upon their mouth.
Why? Because
wisdom with them.
Yeah, that's right.
Simple as that.
All right.
When wisdom with somebody, you can't do nothing but listen.
But listen.
Hallelujah.
You want that wisdom.
Exactly.
You can be taught.
It's like when you sit amongst your elders, you just you listen to what they have to say because they speak wisdom.
Exactly. Yeah. Moreover, by the means of her, I shall obtain immortality.
And that's what we all here for. We seek immortality. We want to live forever, you know, in the kingdom. And that's a key ingredient that you must have, wisdom from above.
And leave behind me an everlasting memorial to them that come after me.
What's that, Hebrew?
We know that. We know Solomon, don't we?
Yeah, well, you know, I know how it ended up, but yeah, I know.
We know Solomon.
I know. But I wasn't talking in reference to Solomon. I'm talking about wisdom in general. You know, if you apply that.
No, you're talking about the memorial.
Yeah. An everlasting memorial to them that come after me. So if you dealing with this type of wisdom, somebody else can learn from you. Do you learn something from a wicked person? No, you learn to be wicked. That ain't gonna get you in the kingdom. Somebody that's dead, if they did the correct steps, you know, to obtain the kingdom, if they left something behind, you will gravitate to that.
Exactly.
That's why they say a testimony can only be a testimony after somebody died or something like that, you know.
Right.
Like, is that it? A testimony?
A testimony is only a testimony once you survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the midst of the test.
Exactly.
You know, you forming your speech to how Yah brought you through in the midst of the storm, and learning how to walk in the spirit as you're in the storm, that it doesn't overtake you. You have your testimony.
Hallelujah. Exactly. I couldn't say it better. That's it right there.
Verse 14.
Verse 14. I shall set the people in order, and the nations shall be subject unto me. Horrible tyrants shall be afraid. Horrible tyrants shall be afraid, like Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
And I say
even Donald
Trump, he a tyrant too.
Yeah.
And Barack Obama, he was a tyrant.
All
of them is. They ain't following the laws of the Most High.
The Queen.
The Queen.
Yeah, don't leave them out. The spiritual leader of the world, the Pope.
The Pope and the Queen. Yeah, I'm saying, horrible tyrants shall be afraid when they do but hear of me. He ain't even touched them yet. He just heard of it. You know, Solomon around the corner. Oh, shoot. I shall be found good among the multitude and valiant in war.
It means successful.
Right. After I am come into my house, I will repose myself with her, for her conversation has no bitterness, and to live with her has no sorrow, but mirth enjoy.
You see, by obtaining wisdom, like if we have the wisdom of the world, they have a saying, you can have all the money in the world and have a big house, but a lot of them people are depressed.
Exactly.
Right.
You can have a little small shack, and if you're dealing with this wisdom, you'll wake up with a smile on your face.
Every day.
Your sleep would be good.
Yeah.
But you need that wisdom from
Yes, you
above.
do.
Hallelujah. That's it. Verse 17. Now when I consider these things in myself, he meditated, he pondered on them,
That's right.
and pondered them in my heart, how that to be allied unto wisdom is immortality.
He keeps saying immortality. You see these words interchangeable with wisdom.
And great pleasure it is to have her friendship, and in the works of her hands are infinite riches, and in the exercise of her conference with her prudence, and in talking with her a good report. I went about seeking how to take her to me, for I was a witty child and had a good spirit. Yea, rather, being good, I came into a body undefiled. Nevertheless, when I perceived that I could not otherwise obtain her, except Elohim gave her me, and that was a point of wisdom also to know whose gift she was. So wisdom is a gift from Elohim. I prayed unto Yahweh and besought him, and with my whole heart I said.
We're going to read chapter 9 and finish this off, and then we'll go back into the scriptures.
Chapter 9. O Elohim of my fathers, in Yahweh of mercy, who have made all things with your word, and ordained man through your wisdom, that he should have dominion over the creatures which ye have made.
Yeah, that was set up at the beginning. Adam had that wisdom from above.
He did.
And he had dominion over all the animals.
Verse 3. And ordered the world according to equity and righteousness, and execute judgment with an upright heart. Give me wisdom that sits by your throne.
That sitteth where?
By your throne, and reject me not from among your children.
We read that in Revelations 4 and 5. Another precept that his wisdom sits by the throne of the Most High.
Right. For I, your servant and son of your handmaid, am a feeble person, and of a short time, and too young for the understanding of judgment and Torah, the law.
Right.
For though a man be never so perfect among the children of men, yet if your wisdom be not with him, he shall be nothing regarded. You have chosen me to be a king of your people, and a judge of your sons and daughters. You have commanded me to build a temple upon your holy mount, and an altar in the city wherein you dwell, a resemblance of the holy tabernacle, which you have prepared from the beginning.
A resemblance of what?
The holy tabernacle, which you have prepared from the beginning. A mirroring of the tabernacle that's in heaven. And wisdom was with you.
Let me just stop you right there. How would you be able to know what's up in heaven in order to make something like that? It had to come from above.
Exactly.
Who did somebody down here went up there and saw it? No, it had to be a gift given to you.
Exactly.
So that's that spirit of wisdom that will be poured out on you.
Verse 9. And wisdom was with you, which knows your works, and was present when you made the world.
When
you made the world, and knew what was acceptable in your sight, and right in your commandments. Oh, send her out of your holy heavens.
From where?
Holy heaven.
That's from above.
Right? And from the throne of your glory, that being present she may labor with me, that I may know what is pleasing unto you. For she knows and understands all things, and she shall lead me servilely in my doings, and preserve me in her power. So shall my works be acceptable, and then shall I judge your people righteously, and be worthy to sit in my Father's seat.
See, that's why he wanted that wisdom. Once he knew what all embodies that spirit of wisdom, why wouldn't you want it?
Exactly.
And the Most High was happy because the Most High said, this already sitting up here by my throne. That's what you asked for? I send this to you. Guess what's going to come along with it? You know, and that's what he had received.
Verse 13. For what man is he that can know the counsel of Elohim? Or who can think what the will of Yahweh is?
Isaiah 55 and 8. You know, that just let you know, no man know the thoughts of the Most High.
Right.
You know, my thoughts and your thoughts.
Ways not your ways.
Did he say that to Job when Job was questioning him? He said, where were you?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's good. That's good. When he about the stars and everything,
Right.
he broke everything.
He broke it down. Where was you at?
That's good.
Do you know because length of days? Verse 14. For the thoughts of mortal men, are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain.
See, wisdom, it's a sure thing. It ain't like, I don't know, is it, you sure we should go over there? Mortal man can lead you in the path of destruction.
Right.
And you can trust in that earthly wisdom, and they can swear up and down, look, I got 5 letters of degree. Believe in me, follow me. But that's not a certain thing.
No.
Exactly. Putting out your trust in man.
Exactly.
Verse 15. For the corruptible bodies presses down the soul.
Why does the corruptible body press it down the soul? If your body is corruptible, which we are corruptible, we'll die. By not keeping the commandments, you know, it's like you're not feeding your spirit.
And I say this, when Brother Paul broke it down with the flesh and the spirit warm.
Oh yeah.
Romans
chapter 8.
Same spirit working with Solomon and Paul. With Paul. Yep. Romans chapter 8.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna write that down for precept. That's good.
That war over the spirit and
Right.
the flesh.
For the corruptible body presses down the soul, and the earthly tabernacles weighs down the mind that muses upon many things. And hardly do we guess aright at things that are upon earth. And with labor do we find the things that are before us. But the things that are in heaven, who has searched out? In your counsel, and we just read Job 28, verse 27. Well, verse 27, Most High searched it out. He searched out everything. He made everything. So of course he searched it out. Where I'm at 16. 17. In your counsel who has known, except you give wisdom and send your Ruach HaKodesh from above. For so the ways of them which lived on the earth was reformed, and men were taught the things that are pleasing unto you, and were saved through wisdom.
Right. Even before Solomon, this wisdom from above was given to our ancestors. Even how he was talking about this sanctuary when we came out of Egypt, the wisdom from above was put on the spirit of certain individuals to make the tabernacle, the sanctuary, where we kept our the Ark of the Covenant, the candlesticks, the showbread, everything that we needed. But they had to have this wisdom from above, and we'll see that. And let's read Exodus chapter 36, 3 verses 1 through 3.
And also even before the schoolmaster, Abraham.
Oh, we're going to get that. We're going to get it. Well, not Abraham, but we're going to get before Abraham.
Before Abraham, they was making altars and everything.
Yeah.
Exodus 26.
No, Exodus 36, 1 through 3. 36. It's just another quick example of men receiving wisdom from above. That's nothing that they can wake up and know how to do that.
Just like Noah did the ark.
I ain't even have that in, but that could have been added on as an example. Good point, Ms. Exodus chapter 36, 1 through 3. We're going to see that our ancestors, our forefathers, was given this wisdom from above. So we're just going to show a few examples, and we're going to go back to Solomon again and show how he had to use this wisdom from above to decide a situation or to judge a matter in Israel. He used this wisdom from above to do that. But let's first hit this Exodus chapter 36, 1 through 3. You got it, Hebrew?
Yes, sir. Exodus chapter 36, starting at verse 1. Then wrought Bezalel and Ahab and every wise-hearted man, and from Yahweh put wisdom and understanding.
From where?
Yahweh put wisdom and understanding to know how to work all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary, according to all that Yahweh had commanded. And Moses called Bezalel and Aholiab, and every wise-hearted man, in whose heart Yahweh had put wisdom, even every one whose heart stirred him up to come unto the work to do it. And they received of Moses all the offering which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of the sanctuary, to make it withal. And they brought yet unto him free offerings every morning.
Okay, like I was saying, certain things that they put forth was like the candlestick. Like if you read the chapter before, it go in detail about the tabernacle and the sanctuary. You know, eventually, before Solomon made the temple, we would always have like tabernacle sanctuaries to house the holy things of the Heavenly Father. But like I was just using that example, like that wisdom had to come from above. We're gonna go back to Solomon. Let's go read 1 Kings chapter 3, because it's gonna go a little bit more into what we read 2 Chronicles when he asked about that wisdom, and it's going to let you know that he came to him at night in the dream, in the vision. Because we read here, it didn't really clearly say that it was a vision from the Most High, but it just like double back what we just read, and it's going to go a little bit more in detail. So we're going to 1 Kings chapter 3, dealing with King Solomon.
Starting in verse what?
We're going to read this whole chapter out.
Okay. Get my notes in. I'm sorry. 1 Kings chapter 3, starting at verse 1. Solomon marries Pharaoh's daughter. And Solomon made affinity, what's that word? Affinity with Pharaoh king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David, until he had made an end of building his own house, in the house of Yahweh, in the wall of Jerusalem round about. Only the people sacrificed in high places. Because there was no house built unto the name of Yahweh until those days.
Yeah, because at a point in time, we weren't supposed to worship like that or sacrifice on high places, but we didn't have no place at that time until he, set things in order. So the Most High, but not just that, sometimes people offer wicked sacrifices or things that wasn't towards the Most High. So we had offerings for all type of matters, free will offerings, or just thanking the Most High for
sin offerings. So Leviticus breaks that down. Verse 3. And Solomon loved Yahweh, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places.
See them high places. Go ahead, keep reading.
And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. In Gibeon, Yahweh appeared to Solomon in a dream by night.
How did he appear to him?
In a dream by night. And Elohim said, ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said, thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And this is a precept of what he had just pulled the 2 Chronicles.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, O Yahweh my Elohim, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in.
That's why it was important to ask for that wisdom. So it don't matter how young or old you are. You can be an old fool.
Exactly.
But you need this wisdom to deal with situations that surround you every day.
Yes.
And tell you the
Yes.
truth, Solomon a mature child.
Mhm.
Ah, no
He
doubt.
was.
No
He
doubt.
For real.
Yeah.
He was.
And thy servant, verse 8, and thy servant is in the midst of thy people which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude.
Again, fulfilling the promises in Genesis chapter 13, verse 6.
Yep.
What was that, Genesis?
Genesis chapter 13, verse 6.
Let me just read that real fast since I'm
The
doing
promises to Abraham.
it. I'll just stop.
You gotta hit that. Genesis chapter 13, verse 6.
Yeah. No, that ain't what I wanted to. But you know, when I'm trying to find what
Genesis
was it?
15 and 5.
Go ahead, read that out.
And he brought, Genesis 15, verse 5. And he brought him
Yeah.
forth abroad and said, look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be.
Next verse. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. So all that because Abraham, his belief and his faith,
Yeah.
that trickled down to this innumerable amount of people that Solomon had to deal with, because he comes from this seed, just like we do.
Yeah.
And now you're sitting on the throne at this particular time.
Mhm.
He was young, like we just read, a little child.
Good child. Verse 9, back in that 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 9. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And the speech pleased Yahweh, that Solomon had asked this thing. And Elohim said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart.
What does heart mean in the Bible?
Mine, lahab, I believe is the Hebrew word for heart.
Yeah.
Lahab. So that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways,
Back that up. And what?
And
Big word.
and if thou wilt walk in my ways, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then I will lengthen thy days.
It's just showing you, even though Solomon, the Most High, he deal with our people, they wasn't exempt from keeping the law. You had to do it. He let his father David know right off the bat. How would this look? You sitting the king, you just committed adultery. I gotta punish you.
Exactly.
Right? David could have been put to death for that.
Both men.
Yeah.
By law.
Yeah.
Him and the woman.
Him and the woman. Yeah.
In front of everybody. But Most High showed mercy. Most High showed mercy.
But the key thing, David repented.
His heart. Yeah.
Repented
Turned.
right away.
Yeah.
True repentance.
True repentance.
And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream.
See, he visited him in the dream.
And he came to Jerusalem. I bet he was like, and it felt so real.
You know it had to. It had to.
And he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, and offered up burnt offerings and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants. Let's eat, y'all. Let's barbecue.
Which you also see right there, he basically went to make an offer before the Most High, just like his father Abraham. Every time the Most High visited Abraham, he would set up a pillar or something, an altar, make up an altar. So you would appreciate that if he came to you in your dream, and you would know that he was talking to you. He definitely knew he was talking to him. That's your best way, because you can't go up to heaven and give him nothing. But we had ways that the Most High accept that offering that you give him.
Exactly.
So that's why our people did this back in the day. That was the how would I say it? That was the avenue, or like the mediator type of giving him a gift, so to speak.
Right.
Now,
and he always communicates with us through his ruach.
Always.
We sometimes don't recognize it or pay attention to it because we haven't learned to build that relationship with him. But once you start building that relation, he said, "My sheep know my voice, and another they won't follow." Yeah. So you begin to I guess the word is a keen sense. We click in.
That's very true what you said, because events can take place in your life and you'll be like, "What should I make this choice or I don't know if I made the right choice." And then, I mean, of course, initially, if you made the wrong choice, you'll know it. But by trial and error, you'll get that voice again, and it'll tell you, "Look, you need to do this."
Exactly.
You know, the Holy Spirit don't want it. It teaches you, like I said, bring things back to remembrance. And it preserves you from persecution, basically. You know, that's the job.
And real quick, I wanted to read this. Y'all ain't gotta go to this. First Chronicles, chapter 29, verse 14. Just because we give offerings to the Most High and whatnot. But check this out. And this is the type of spirit we ought to be in, just like David and Solomon and all the rest of the patriarchs are. Check David's prayer out. First Chronicles 29:14. David said, "But who am I? And what is my people that we should be able to offer so willingly after this sort? For all things come of thee. For all things come of thee. And of thy own have we given thee." We given the Most High what he owns anyway.
That's right.
Exactly.
It's
all his. He's just letting us use
it. And the intents of our heart for us doing that. He respects that and he loves that. But how would we be if one of our child gave us something that was ours anyway? "Here, mama. Here, daddy. I found your controller.
Exactly.
Happy birthday."
Exactly.
"Oh, this is mine anyway. How you gonna give me something that's mine?" Most High ain't like that.
Ain't like that. Right. Squirrel.
Hallelujah. We still here, all right?
Yes, sir.
Verse 15 again. "And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, and offered up burnt offerings and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants." Verse 16. "Then came there two women."
It's the part I wanted to get to, because this is where that wisdom from above kicked in with Solomon. He had to make a choice with these women.
And you know, we Judah, wine and women.
So back in the day, this would be like you going on the Maury Povich show.
Oh, okay.
Who is the daddy?
Right.
But it's not out talking about the daddies, so who child is it?
Exactly.
So you would use a DNA test, some earthly wisdom, but Solomon used wisdom from above to discern this matter.
Exactly.
So let's get it.
"Then came there two women, they were harlots, unto the king, and stood before him. And the one woman said, O my Lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the third day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also. And we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, save we two in the house."
All right, let's set the setting. I mean, it's kind of crystal clear. They come into the king. There's one lady letting it be known. I first had a child. 3 days later, this other woman. We the only two women in this house and the children. I keep reading. That's the setup right now.
"And this woman's child died in the night."
She's saying this woman, that child of hers died. Not mine. All right, but she's telling us.
Because she overlaid it. She smothered it.
Smothered it.
No accident, crowd.
Yep.
And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me, while thine handmaid slept.
She was asleep, she was unaware. But when she woke up, she would notice.
And laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom.
It's cold.
It sure is.
And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son which I did bear.
So she understood crystal clear, just like Ed and Keeler, they would understand if you did that switcheroo with them.
I mean,
You know,
that's like a stupid look for you.
What?
Because look, I know what my baby look like.
Right.
And you're going to try to convince me
Exactly.
that, you know.
Man, you lucky we don't go fisticuffs.
Right.
Verse 22. They better than me because I wouldn't went to the king. I know that right there.
You would have handled that.
Right there. I'm not about to argue with you about my son. But yeah, verse 22. And the other woman said, nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son.
Okay, at this point, how would Solomon know who's lying? Now, if this other one said, yeah, she not lying, yeah, that did happen, I laid on mine. But she making the claim, no, that didn't happen. So it don't matter that the first woman said this.
Right.
But so at this point, Solomon wouldn't know actually who's lying or not.
No.
But from the wisdom from above, he'll be able to figure it
Because
out.
what we just read knows all things. Can't
That wisdom, that's right. Go ahead, Hebrew.
And this said, no, but the dead son is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. Then said the king, the one saith, this is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead. And the other saith, nay, but thy son is the dead, and my son is the living. And the king said, bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, divide the living child in two, and give half to the one and half to the other.
Because this would cause a reaction naturally. Whoever near and dear to that child.
Right.
Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son. She got the bubble guts. You know, got real nerve.
Because if you split them, you basically killing that
The
baby.
baby dead.
You know that.
And she said, oh my Lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said, let it be neither mine nor thine, but divide it.
Oh.
Then the king answered and said, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all Israel heard the judgment which the king had judged. And they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of Yahweh Elohim was in him. The wisdom of Elohim was in him to do judgment.
So see, at the beginning in the dream, he asked, I need wisdom so I can judge this people.
Right.
And we see an incident where he had to judge two women, where life was on the line, the life of a child.
The test came out.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, like Ati said about the patience.
Yeah.
Ati brought up from Memphis, he brought up about the patience and whatnot. He prayed for more patience, not knowing he was going to get tested immediately. And that's how your patience grows.
Right.
Just like here with King Solomon. He prayed for wisdom and understanding. Boom. Here it comes. Let's test it out.
Test it out.
Hallelujah.
And it was successful. And a lot of people, we're going to go to one chapter over, but read a couple verses. We're going here to show that, like I was saying earlier, this wisdom from above is a magnet to people. It attracts people. So Solomon, this sign and other things that he did brought people far and near to hear this wisdom. Just like she said, if we was in a room full of the elders, we'd be like this, trying to listen in.
Right.
And we just read earlier that no man before or after him had this type of wisdom. So if you was living at that time, think of the smartest person today.
Stephen Hawkins.
Yeah. If you desire the earthly wisdom. Yeah. That. But the people that like science, they'll gravitate to him.
He can't even walk.
Yeah.
He in a wheelchair.
He's the smartest person, in science or in the world.
Boy,
look up to.
He ain't too smart. He ain't
People gravitate.
Can't cure that.
Nah. You can't escape that. Next chapter, we're going to read 29 through 34. 29 through 34.
First Kings?
Yeah, First Kings, my bad. First Kings chapter 4, verse 29 through 34.
Chapter 4.
Just showing how this, again, how this wisdom from above is a magnet. It attracts people from all over.
First Kings chapter 4. 29, starting at verse 29. And Elohim gave Solomon wisdom and understanding, exceeding much in longness of heart and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country and all the wisdom of Egypt. He was smarter than the Moabs and Ammons, if they was over there at that time, the Chinese, the Indians and all that. But he was wiser than all men, than Ethan, the Ezrahites, and Haman, and Kakahah, and Kal, and Dodai, the sons of Mahal. And his fame was in all nations round about. I guess these was the top
Yeah,
men.
they was like Stephen Hawking,
right?
Like you just described.
Exactly. They like Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking, Mark Planck, and all that, Max Planck. And he spake 3,000 proverbs.
How many proverbs?
3,000 proverbs. And his songs were 1,005. So his songs were 1,005. And he spake of trees, from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall. He spake also of beasts, and of fire, and of creepy things, and of fishes. And there came of all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon from all kings of the earth, which had heard of his wisdom.
Just showing you that. I don't know if any of y'all can pull the book of Jasher up. I was just going to bring Enoch into the picture. He also received his wisdom from above. And just linking it up, I think mine didn't even pop up on here. But if anybody can pull it up and read it, it's just chapter 3, 1 through 11. Enoch was even way before Solomon. Remember we read in Wisdom of Solomon that wisdom was dealing with men of all ages. So we see in the sign where that was of the age of Solomon. Now you go back to Enoch. Enoch was before the flood. So just like we just read that wisdom was like a magnet because men from all over came. When you read in the book of Jasher 1 through 3, chapter 3, 1 through 11, the same thing happened with Enoch. Yeah. Actually, before he was took up, they wanted to know. Some like, we want to be here with you when it happened.
They followed,
Yeah, they followed all the way and died.
Died.
Oh, you got it in there, Hebrew?
Yeah, I got it in there.
Oh, I didn't know it was in there. That's what's up.
I love mine at home. It's like too many books.
So he's gonna have to read it out from there. Yeah, I used to have it on here.
I mean, the table of contents. Let me get it.
Right. Yeah, and that's like today. It's what the wicked do. You know, those who have riches and wealth, people flock to them. Yeah. And when it's gone, then they're nowhere to be found.
What's that?
And then if you have whatever it is, whatever.
Like what she explained.
What she talking about?
Like the riches.
The riches.
And whatever gifts you may have, it attracts people. So if your gift is entrepreneurship, then it's going to attract like-minded people to you to get that knowledge. So that causes,
because
on the carnal
desire
side.
that. You're right. Like I said, at times, it's okay to have the wisdom of this world, but I'm saying that ain't going to get you
exactly.
Because like you said, you will see that man was successful. So you want to see what made you successful.
Exactly.
You will study from that and learn from it. Or like a father that run a business, he's going to teach his son how to be successful.
Exactly.
Naturally you want your son to be successful if you are. But what trumps that is you need to teach him these commandments.
Exactly.
You want him to have an assurance of immortality. And the only way you have an assurance of immortality, you got to get that wisdom from above.
Exactly.
What you looking for, Hebrew?
What she was just talking about.
That riches or
riches.
Did we just read it recently or something?
To where it's in the Apocrypha. It's to where people will listen to rich people before they listen to.
Oh, we read that. That's what I was talking about. Yeah,
that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can find
What's
it.
that?
I I find it though.
That's exactly what you're talking about, and that's
Or even if you're
Oh
telling
yeah, you was right on the page.
What
You
was
ain't
that?
know it.
Nah, see,
Right
I
here,
knew
read
wisdom
it.
was talking. Okay.
Verse 22 on down.
Even-
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you was looking for, I think. We had just read that a couple
Yeah,
weeks ago.
yeah, Ecclesiastes.
Just what you was
chapter,
talking about. I don't know why I wasn't thinking that it hit him.
I don't know.
Chapter 13, verse 22. When a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken.
Like if I'm rich and I fall hurt myself, hey, Nate, you all right? They gonna make sure I'm all right.
Right.
You know, go ahead, Hebrew.
He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him.
Not to be spoken, you speaking wicked things. This ain't containing to the script.
Like Namla.
Mm-hmm.
But they are justified. Why? Because I'm rich.
Or even
Right.
our Caucasian brothers and sisters, they'll listen to them before they listen to
Good
us.
point. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Our Hebrews out here, they
I listen to him,
Yeah.
and you can be
Yeah.
saying the same
Right,
thing.
same exact thing.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Excellent point.
The poor man slipped. Brother Ed slipped.
Ain't nobody lifting you up.
Mhm.
And yet they rebuked him too. Well, what you do that for? What did you do to
Should have been
slip?
drinking.
You shouldn't have been doing it. He spake wisely and could have no place. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue and look at what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. They put him on a pedestal.
Mhm.
But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this, man? Who is this nigga?
Who is this nigga?
Who is this?
Right, right.
Turn him off. and if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him.
Mhm.
That's it right there.
That's real.
Exactly what you were saying.
That was real. Right on point, Hebrew.
Oh, y'all praise the Most High. Where we at in that Joshua, Hebrew?
Chapter 3, 1 through 11. It's basically precept in that last, with King Solomon, how there was a magnet attracting, and also he received that wisdom from the Most High. Because it's going to tell you the wisdom that he was dealing with was from the Most High gave him.
You said Joshua what?
Chapter 3, 1 through 11. And then last one person, we're going to, after he get there, we're going to get an example of how Ezra had that wisdom from the Lord. Like I was saying, how he had to pick certain judges.
Mhm.
Like if he was picking our president,
Mhm.
Ezra wouldn't have picked Donald Trump.
Nah. Nah. Not the wolf grabber. Tic Tac master. Nah.
The tic-tac master. You got it, Hebrew 1 through 11.
Joshua chapter 3, start at verse 1. And Enoch lived 65 years, and he begot Methuselah. And Enoch walked with Elohim after having begot Methuselah. And he served Yahweh and despised the evil ways of men. So if you want to serve the Most High, you got to despise evil.
Hate the evil.
With a perfect hatred. And the soul of Enoch was wrapped up in the instruction of Yahweh, in knowledge and in understanding. And he wisely retired from the sons of men. He didn't want to be around them. He secreted himself from them for many days. And it was at the expiration of many years, while he was serving Yahweh and praying before him in his house, that an angel of Yahweh called to him from heaven. And he said, here am I. And he said, rise, go forth from your house and from the place where you do hide yourself, and appear to the sons of men, in order that ye may teach them the way in which they should go, and the work which they must accomplish to enter in the ways of Elohim. And Enoch rose up according to the word of Yahweh.
According to who?
The word of Yahweh. John 1:1. And went forth from his house, from his place, and from the chamber in which he was concealed. And he went to the sons of men and taught them the ways of Yahweh. And at that time, assembled the sons of men and acquainted them with the instruction of Yahweh. And he ordered it to be proclaimed in all places where the sons of men dwelt, saying, where is the man who wishes to know the ways of Yahweh and good works? Let him come to Enoch. And all the sons of men then assembled to him. For all who desired this thing went to Enoch. And Enoch reigned over the sons of men according to the word of Yahweh. And they came and bowed to him, and they heard his word. And the Ruach, in the spirit of Elohim, was upon Enoch. And he taught all his men the wisdom of Elohim in his ways. And the sons of men served Yahweh all the days of Enoch. And they came to hear his wisdom. And all the kings of the sons of men, birth first and last, together with their princes and judges.
See how many people came to hear that?
Came to Enoch when they heard of his wisdom.
What? Heard of what?
His wisdom. And they bowed down to him. And they also required of Enoch to reign over them. They asked Enoch, please, man, hey, tell us what to do. Most High messing with you to tell us what to do so we can be with the Most High.
That's right.
To which he consented. They humbled themselves. And they assembled in all 130 kings and princes. And they made Enoch king over them, and they were all under his power and command. And Enoch taught them wisdom, knowledge, and the ways of Yahweh. And he made peace amongst them. And peace was throughout the earth during the life of Enoch.
Again, just, precept in that was that wisdom from above that Enoch had. And it was a magnet, riches come along with it. Of course, you don't seek that initially, but these men were dealing with the Most High. And at that time on the earth, this was before the destruction of the earth, because it was always periods in time where the word would be out there. He would always preserve his word and have people understand.
A remnant.
A remnant.
Always a remnant. And just add on, Enoch, you see how they bowed and reverence Enoch and whatnot.
See somebody have a,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, they'll have a problem with people bowing to Christ instead of the Father.
Exactly. When they bowed Enoch, also King David as well.
Yeah, King David.
Also to the angel of the host, the captain of the host, which we know to be Yahushua Ha'Mashiach.
Right.
But Enoch, but you got to understand that Enoch wasn't out there for himself.
No.
He was a messenger for the Most High.
Yeah.
And he was speaking the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
And they humbled themselves, and that's what we got to do. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Nah, you was on point, Hebrew. Excellent point. Just one verse, Brother Jacob be saying one verse.
One verse, clean cut.
First Ezra, chapter 8, verse 23, just showing another example of this.
In Apocrypha?
Yeah, my bad. Apocrypha. First Ezra, chapter 8, verse 23, just another example of somebody the Most High was dealing with that got his wisdom from above, and he had to use this wisdom from above. Like I said, basically he had to appoint certain people. So like I was making an example, if Ezra was down here, he wouldn't have picked Donald Trump.
Right.
And it was important because the Most High, at this particular time, he wanted individuals to be living godly. And, y'all ain't finna be, if I let y'all have this kingdom, it ain't gonna be you doing what you want.
Exactly. Defaming my name and my character and everything else.
Taking his name.
Taking his name right back. Exactly. You saying you worship me, but at the same time, you stealing, killing, and pillaging and taking bribes. You're taking the Most High name in vain. You said First Ezra what?
Chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
Verse 23. One verse.
One verse. And you, Ezra, according to the wisdom of Elohim, ordained judges and justices, that they may judge in all Aram and Phoenicia, all those that know the law of your Elohim, and those that know it not, you shall teach.
Is that it? And thou, Ezra, according to the wisdom of God, that was the wisdom from above, ordained judges. So by that wisdom, he had to ordain to appoint judges of justice that they may judge in all serious. So over a people land, the order went to Ezra. You need to pick these people.
Right.
But I'm going to give you the wisdom so you'll be able to discern what type of people.
Right.
So
and it required that wisdom from above so that these people were righteously judged. Because you read in Deuteronomy, let's get that, 16 and 19, you can bribe people. Like today, Donald Trump them can be bribed.
Right.
But if you're dealing with this wisdom from above, you can't do that.
Exactly.
Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 19. Because this come down with like people judging people or being in the power to judge.
Right.
So the Most High, he wasn't a person that had respect to persons. So
and Ezra had to put those. It was like an audition. Ezra put those people to the test.
yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, he made sure they was all right to judge and be over these people. Deuteronomy, I'll read this one. Deuteronomy, y'all there?
Yes, sir.
Deuteronomy 16 and 19. Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift. For a gift doeth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. So what Ezra was able to do, he wasn't going to pick somebody that you can buy off.
Right.
He had to pick people that would run, what's the name of these places? Syria and Phoenix. Now today, these people can be bought. You know what I'm saying? That run things. You give them certain things or power, okay, I'll do your bid.
And like if you got a job, you know what I'm saying? Depending on who your supervisor is, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You ask people what they think about, she'll let that slide, or they be like, oh, nah, he bought a book.
What you mean? Like the other workers, if they
like if you got a supervisor at a job or whatnot, and the other workers, you be like, how's this supervisor? He cool, he'll let you do this and do this, even though in the rules it says don't do that.
Some of the workers will probably be hoping that he'll bend the rules.
Yeah, bend the rules. But then you got those other people. You got those other people that, hey, don't mess with him, he by the book.
Yeah.
And that's what it is when it comes to the Most High. You got to be by the book. Go ahead,
All right, last one, y'all. I'd be remiss if we didn't read at least something out of Proverbs, because that book do talk about wisdom. Basically, you know, for time's sake, I say you can read a lot of books out of Proverbs, but let's just read the first chapter. That's a powerful chapter, Proverbs chapter 1. We'll read that and we can end this out. You know, other verses y'all can write this down. Sirach chapter 1, 4 through 10. It also gets into it. You know, there's many more. Like I said, you can comb through Ecclesiastics. I'll just read y'all one real quick. This is one of my favorite ones. And it's probably what I had y'all write down. But while y'all looking for that Proverbs chapter 1 through, you know, the whole chapter, let me just read this out real fast. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 26. One verse. It said, if thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord shall give her unto thee. So for people that's telling us don't keep the commandments, all these things, what did we just read about wisdom? All these attributes. You don't want me to have this?
Fortitude.
Assurance of immortality.
Right.
You know.
It's a foolish person.
Right.
Yeah.
Fortitude. What else? No worries.
No worries.
You know, hey. Yeah,
see, a lot comes with keeping the commandments.
Exactly.
You know, it ain't no light thing to, you know, say follow after whatever they teach, but it can't be found scripturally.
They ain't talking about nothing. Finding the script.
Like I said, y'all can write down that 1 through 10, that same verse or that same chapter, but let's get that Proverbs. We can end this deal. This wisdom from above. Proverbs chapter 1.
Proverbs chapter 1, starting at verse 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtly to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear. A wise man will hear. It will increase learning. And a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel.
Like Ms. Cornell was saying, if you're around some wise elders, you're going to listen. You know?
Right. Don't rub up on
it. Wise counsels.
To understand a proverb.
What's a proverb since we're reading the book of Proverbs? Anybody know?
Proverb comes.
Nothing but wisdom.
Proverb comes from the Hebrew word mashal, which means to be like. So it's a parable.
Yeah.
Proverb is a parable.
Okay.
It's a parable.
To understand a proverb and the interpretation
Because let me stop right there. Because the Messiah, what he just said, we understand the Messiah. He spoke in a lot of parables.
He did.
But in order to understand them, you would need wisdom. You need wisdom to the simple or the people that don't deal with this Bible. We can read some verses out here and the understanding won't click.
Exactly.
Right.
That's got to be from a
They won't be saying like we do.
It's also like instructions too. It's like if you do this, this is gonna happen.
Exactly.
Right.
You know.
Right. Warning.
It lets you know. It lets you. It's warnings. Exactly. Warnings. Like we was on the street preaching today. We was giving out the warnings. Some people wanted to hear. Some people forbade it. Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 11.
Right.
But at the same time, 1 out of 99.
And your feet were there. You know, your feet were planted.
All praise.
You know, and that word did go forth.
Yeah.
You know, you spoke it. I mean,
they was warned.
You know,
so the blood is off our hands, like Ezekiel said.
And it's in the atmosphere. You know, when you speak positive, when you speak truth, it's out there.
Right.
You know, so, you know, because that area has so much negativity.
It is.
But you're standing out there and you're speaking truth and the word. So
Boy,
it's out there in the atmosphere.
Real quick, I seen one of my friends.
Yeah, tell about this story.
But I knew the dude looked familiar. He was we was speaking scripture and whatnot. He looked familiar. I'm like, bro, did I go to school with you, man? Well, you from out here? I'm from Carriage House, bro. He's like, oh yeah. He said, yeah. I was like, man, we started naming, naming people we know and whatnot. He said, yeah, young Larry. Young Larry, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, he was that dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Young Larry put the whole hood on, basically, when it came to drugs, whatnot. Long story short, young Larry, he out of jail by now. Long story short.
How did he come up to us?
That dude, he came up to us asking for money. And he was one of young Larry's closest dudes. You get what I'm saying?
That means
he was a money maker.
Yeah.
He was a money maker.
Yeah.
And I didn't know nothing about this, so if I first met this guy, or the way my first appearance of seeing him and how he coming up, he was asking us for change. Y'all got some change, or something. I would have never knew this where you were, even though that was wickedness.
Right.
But it still just showed you, how greatly a person can be up high and then they can fall.
Exactly.
You never know that quick, until like he knew the background of the guy. So
wow.
All praise Most High.
But he got fed today.
Yeah, he got fed.
Yeah.
He got fed. He listened to a couple.
I give him that. He stopped, to listen.
Yeah.
He had to go or whatever, but the main thing, we just speak it. And hopefully it don't fall on deaf ears. And we know that certain people did gravitate to it, like I was telling you earlier. So he brought up right before we started seeing the people, before the lady stopped in the car, before them people got out and came to us. He brought up like, wouldn't he go back just to get that one? So I made a statement like, even if we speak this and we speak, I think I used the word 100. I said 100 people, even if one, we got to be happy with that.
Right.
We got to be happy. Them good numbers.
Them real good numbers.
Them good numbers.
Yeah.
Look at all the
witnesses.
Yeah.
If you think it ain't, let's get that. Now, I'm going to just read one verse out of this. I think I'm going the wrong way. 2nd Ezra chapter 8. This is talking about the difference between the people that's going to get in the kingdom and the people that's going to be in the lake of fire, basically. See, it might be 1st Ezra.
2nd Ezra chapter 7.
Yeah, okay, 7.
Verse 41, I believe, starting at verse 45.
You say 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse.
Chapter 7, I believe.
7, let me see. Because I just read it the other day.
45, I believe.
Sure. Let me see.
I don't think you said 7:45.
No, that ain't what I want. I want 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 16. But I can go up from there if you want. Okay. But I was just making a comparison because I said them are good numbers if we get one. Because you got to understand, we dealing with a lot of people that won't hear. A lot of people already destined for time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the verse I wanted, he was having a dialogue with Ezra, basically.
Start at verse 13. Huh?
Verse 13. All right. Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 13. And therefore be thou not curious how the good, you said that. And be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished. And when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved.
Right.
Whose the world is,
Right.
and for whom the world is created. Then answered I and said, I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved.
We read again, all
right.
Many more than that what?
That perish than of them which shall be saved. Just like only 8 came out after the flood. 8 survived. Look at all the ones that drowned.
A lot.
Right. Verse 16, and they making a comparison. Like as a wave is greater than a drop. So if you go out and look at the ocean, look at them powerful waves. That's a lot of water. One drop of water. He's saying that's the difference. Not even this much. Right. So that's what I was saying. If we go out and we touch one, them are good odds. And one more thing I wanted to hit. Let me get, since we're talking about that, I think it's First Ezra chapter 8. I mean, I don't like hammering people over the head, but sometimes I do scriptures like this to get my point across.
That's how it's supposed to be. We speak the oracles of the Most High. You said chapter 8. First Ezra.
No, I got to make sure. It ain't First Ezra. It might be Second Ezra. All right. Let me see. Yeah, verse we're gonna read 1 and 3. Read that. Verse 1 and 3.
Of what?
Second Ezra chapter 8, my bad. Verse 1 and 3.
Second Ezra chapter 8, starting at verse 1.
Okay.
And he answered me, saying, Eliam has made the world for many.
This world. Everybody was born. It's made for everybody. Well, keep reading.
But the world to come for few.
Like that drop. So even if we get that one, we got because we already know it's been prophesied. Everybody ain't getting in the kingdom.
Right.
So that means everybody ain't gonna listen.
No.
Do that make us stop going out there and talking? Do we get mad because we only got one? Oh, I wish it was more. No, be happy with that.
Exactly.
What is a drop to water?
What's the scriptures that talk about he searches this out, like go, let's say something about going to the earth and ask the earth which is more precious, the clay.
That sounds like
that's the same. That's the same script that JP was talking about.
We couldn't find it. Yeah, that's the same. We both was thinking the same thing. Yeah, but yeah, we remember brother brought it up. I ain't tried to look, but yeah, we was talking about them elements.
Right.
Like I'm gonna do some more. I think we just dropped that after that week. And we continue, but
we gotta go back to find that script, man.
Brother Sean brought it up just like
brought it up. Yeah. That's a good precept as well.
We gotta get that.
We gotta get that. We need that in.
He making that comparison. Like he go down with the elements like one compared to another. You know. Read that verse 3, Hebrew. Now read verse 1 2. Over and then read
down 3.
Yeah, just read 1 through 3 then if you want. But I was getting right to the point. Go ahead.
And he answered me, saying, Eliam has made this world for many, but the world to come for few. And I will tell you a simple tool. I'm gonna tell you a parable. I'm gonna tell you a proverb. Ezra, as when you ask the earth, it shall say unto you that it gives much mold whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that the gold comes of. Even so is the course of this present world. There be many created.
Be what?
Many created.
Right.
But few shall be saved. Hallelujah. Good scripture. Right? Hallelujah.
All praises to the Most High.
All praise the Most High.
We can jump back to that Proverbs.
Excellent swordsmanship.
Excellent swordsmanship. All praises to the Most High. You know, once he gave me this apocrypha, because I used to always, thank you, brother, once again.
All praise the Most High, man.
I used to just look on my phone, but it ain't nothing like, okay, from you to him to me.
Well, she blessed me with the Sefer, so.
Right, he was able to do that. That was good looking out. But I love reading this Apocrypha,
I need to get more into the Apocrypha. I stay too long, I think, in one scripture.
But that's good.
That's good.
That's good. I do that too. I can't get, like, if I ain't trying to get off course or nothing, but I'm like in the book of Jeremiah right now. That's kind of why I pulled those scriptures.
Right.
I ain't got past chapter 11, and I've been on this fight for weeks. Because I stop. Sometimes you go do other things.
Right.
But that's normal. But what's good about that, you focusing. You're not speed reading. But some people be like, let me just read 8 chapters today, but you ain't getting no understanding.
No understanding at all.
It's better to read that one chapter, slow down, have a concordance out, look them words up that you don't understand. Because if you're trying to get through it, you'll be like, I don't understand that, but I'll just keep reading.
Right.
And not only that, you'll be able to precept things too.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why I said, eventually I'll get to, but I think my thing is, it's like, okay, look at this verse. What's it really saying? What does this mean in Hebrew to be able to put it back into context? I guess that's where I'm at now. So
stay like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You gotta dissect that verse.
That's called study to show thyself approved. That's what studying is.
That's right.
Verse 7. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
So in other words, people that don't want to keep this law, they don't want this wisdom. They despise it. That means they hate it. That word despise is hate. Now, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You trying to tell me that, but that's the
trying
beginning
of my good time. I'm messing my good time.
And by default, they don't fear his judgment.
Or it doesn't take all that. I heard that,
Oh, well.
Yeah, I know. What we
I'm saying like my cousin was saying, you don't need to read all that. You just need one step of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's baby Key. Throw them hands on me. She been doing that since I was little. Baby Key.
That's why I ain't mess with it. I let you.
I ain't mess with it. I know my baby. I don't mess with baby Key like that.
But not out of fear. We're not saying it like that. Because if the word God, we got to speak, we'll let her know what time.
Exactly.
It's like somebody in the street.
I know where she'll go with. It'd be it wouldn't be no edification brought forth, so it ain't no wasting no time.
Verse 8.
Proverbs 1 verse 8. My son, hear the instructions of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother, for they shall be an ointment of grace unto thy head.
Ornament.
An ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. Don't we like wearing chains, y'all?
Oh, yeah.
My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Consent thou not.
Why?
If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let's go rob this nigga with these keys real quick, man.
And that's the mindset of how the world we came from, in the area where we came from. That spirit is on a lot of people.
On us bad.
It's a wicked spirit. And it's easy. Look, guys will listen to that spirit. They'll come with us. Let's wait for this blood, or shed some innocent blood.
Let's go to this gas station. I'm short on marijuana. Let's go to this gas station, man. We need some swishers. You ain't got no, like on Bad Boys. Not Bad Boys, Boys in the Hood.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to the candy store. You ain't got no money. I'm going anyway.
Next
thing you know, he in the back of a police car.
Yeah, you talking that little
because what the enemy has done with our families.
Exactly.
The male is not there.
Right.
The woman can't do both. I mean, she can love the child.
Right.
She can rear it up. But she can't be mom and daddy.
Yeah.
It takes that male, and with a deceitful male coming
around,
it
makes it even worse.
To bring the child into his world. That's what.
And the thing is, and what
that's a good point. I never really focused on that point. Let you get that point, but sometimes they replace somebody with somebody real wicked, and that's like harming that child.
It is
big time.
There's different spirits coming in. Different spirits coming in. And I was gonna say, we blame the heathens and whatnot. Some of us we blame the heathens too much, because if we look as it is written in Deuteronomy 28:15 on down,
that's right.
So we brought it upon ourselves. We brought this upon ourselves. We got to walk it out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I ain't gonna like the oppressor still. And I don't care what color they is.
Right.
The Egyptians had us in slavery too.
Right.
So everybody did.
Yeah,
But because of us, because we
So
didn't do what the Most High
stiff-necked
said.
and rebellious, and we want the lust of the flesh
Mm,
instead of bringing the spirit forward
Right.
and letting the spirit rule.
wanting to be like the other
This is
nations.
the outcome that we have with this generation
Right.
today.
And it's,
You know,
it's a building process. We got to try to fix as many souls as possible in order until the Messiah get here.
And that's the thing, beautiful thing about the Most High. Like I was saying earlier, we know that's the problem, but this the solution.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
got the
Right.
foundation.
Exactly.
And, like we was just talking about, the Messiah said he'll be happy. Now, he had 99, but he
Right.
was so happy just to go get that
That
one.
one, that one sheep.
That one.
You're gonna leave the 99 in the wilderness. Why? Because they already just men.
Yeah.
They cool. They know to keep
They
law,
right
statutes,
here.
and commandments.
Right.
They right
Let
here.
me go
Yeah.
get this sinner. Hey
Yeah.
man, you gotta stop stealing like that.
Yeah,
He said,
he
God
came
bless
up,
me with a job.
he
man.
wasn't I mean, it seemed like, well, I won't say he wasn't, because he had earphones
He
on.
was
He
there
just
almost
waiting.
the whole time.
He was there the whole time, and then he commented
At the end.
at the end. He started quoting some of the commandments.
Right.
And then he admitted his faults. He was like,
I'm a
man, but my kid, yeah, they be wanting this, and I'm a thief.
Mhm.
And we had to come with a solution. I'm like, I get right to the point when people basically say they got a problem or they don't want to do this.
Mhm.
I always put the lake of fire on the table.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the
Yeah,
opposite
yeah.
side.
That's what's gonna happen.
And I just I asked them one question. I said, this is something carnally you can see.
Mhm.
Because my best answer to overcome you being a thief,
Mhm.
by me telling you the opposite end of that is the lake of fire. People can't grasp the lake of fire.
Right.
So go in your house right now. Turn on your stove.
Yeah,
you put your
that's
hand
what
on there for 10 minutes.
That's what he told
If
me.
you can't handle that, you ain't built for the lake of fire.
Ain't
And
built
that's
for it.
what's promised to
No.
these type of people.
Right.
Read it. I mean, we read it all
That's
throughout
good.
the script.
Yeah.
forever.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I know I ain't built for the lake of fire.
Mhm.
Right.
I need
And we say that out of love.
Right.
So
And
they
I'm
lying
working.
lips can say what
I'm
they want.
working now.
Mhm.
And I'm working.
Oh, good,
so,
good.
so, hey, I told him, hey, man. That's
Yeah,
what you
that's
gotta
what we
work on.
asked. Where you working? You it's other options besides still.
Right.
You know.
Get it in, man. Hold it down.
Take that gift and turn it into an entrepreneur business.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
want to provide for your children, the same hustle that you use, flip that and make your money the honest way.
Exactly.
All good jobs, no matter what they pay, is if it's honest and good, then you
Honest
keep
and
doing
good.
that.
You right. That's
You know.
right.
Amen.
Finish this.
All right.
Proverbs chapter 1, verse 12. Let us swallow them up, alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil.
This is the mindset of the wicked.
Mhm.
Right?
Read.
Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. All right, let's split the booty. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path, for their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of every one that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof.
That's amazing.
You gonna rob them and you gonna kill them?
Yeah, and we see that. Sometimes people get killed. They mad because they ain't getting them. Man, ain't nothing in the safe, and they wind up killing them. Or whatever.
Right.
You go to jail or for some chump change.
Right. Right.
Chump
And
change.
guess what? If they don't repent of that, you got to deal with his son in the lake of fire. That's what's promised to you.
Exactly. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the street.
So it ain't like this knowledge ain't out. I mean, of course, you got to do the things in order for the Most High to send that gift from above down to you. But it's crying out. Who want me? Don't you want me?
Right.
You want death or life?
Mhm.
Choose
It's on the
up.
table. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates in the city. She uttered her words, saying,
I like this verse.
How long,
You simple.
ye simple ones,
You love
will ye
simplicity.
love simplicity?
Mhm.
And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof, Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you.
See, that's the order. Like we was talking about the order command in the house, and you know, we was talking about Revelation chapter 1, it was the Father, Christ, and then the angel, then John. Just like this, that order is you got to turn first. Start keeping this law, then the spirit will be poured out upon you.
Right.
Just like prayers, he ain't gonna hear your wicked prayers if you're a wicked person.
Right.
You gotta have, you know, cleanse your mind and things of that nature.
Right.
Verse 24.
Because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. Now wisdom is more precious than diamonds and gold. So you turning down all this money, which is wisdom. I also will laugh at your calamity. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear comes.
So when the tables be turned, okay.
Don't ask for me now.
Yeah, don't ask
I'm gonna laugh at you.
Yeah. You want that wisdom.
When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer.
See, you in bad shape at that point. Like we were saying, you know, seek him while he can be found. Right. There's gonna be a famine of this word. You reject this wisdom, this knowledge, and then at that time when that whirlwind, that wrath of the Most High be sent your way, he ain't gonna bail you out. He's gonna laugh and mock you.
Can't be no fair weather, Hebrew. When everything good, you all on. But when it get bad, you don't know what to do. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge.
They hated what?
They hated knowledge. They did not choose the fear of Yahweh.
We just read earlier, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
Right.
Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Go ahead.
Finish it off. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. You mean to tell me I can't steal?
Man, all this time, it's all good, but I ain't even take that on her. I thought I had it.
We got it. Yeah. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prospering of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
So that whoso hearken unto me, that's that wisdom, that's that knowledge, and that's what we need. Wisdom from above. I hope everybody got a little understanding.
I did. It was really good lesson.
Great lesson. Great lesson. Appreciate that. Appreciate that piece off that offering, huh? We got 2 hours, 6 minutes. Turn them off.